I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
Wasn't done with my 2 words.
Oh, right.
I'm Insomniac.
Go ahead.
That's the whole thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Alright, this is episode 51 of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops. I made it. Anyway, episode 51. What's the topic and who's it by?
All right, first topic comes from Matt, my buddy Matt. I like Matt.
Matt Cunha.
Yep. I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I really enjoy listening to this song / band, album, and why. There's the first one.
I think that's just the topic.
You think?
Keep doing these 3-topic episodes. It's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, well, this is it, Matt. This is it. I like your topic.
Episode 51. Shooting the Shit.
All right, so I'm starting. Now, here's the thing.
You want to start?
Yeah, back in my day, it would almost be unheard of, even though there was this point, I want to say, in the 70s where we just got flooded and inundated by disco. And man, people hated disco. And not to say that I didn't, or wouldn't have said myself, I hate disco. But, honestly, there was some disco, certain albums and stuff that here it is. It was like, like a guilty pleasure, like, oh, I don't know if I should ever say this, but there was some stuff I really loved. I mean, I'll name 2 bands right off the top. Right, Bafanable. What do you got going on over there?
I'll tell you exactly what I got going on over here. This guy picks the topics like 3 seconds before we go on instead of a week in advance. So I'm looking up the songs that I'm going to use when it's my turn. Because I didn't have any chance to do this.
This is unbelievable.
This is unbelievable. Yeah. He has a week to pick a topic, and he gets mad that I'm looking this stuff up.
I didn't pick it. I picked it today too. So here I go.
What do you mean 2?
Well,
the original agreement of Shooting the Shit.
They got to step up, man. Why send in more topics?
For what? They have nothing to do with them sending in more topics. The original idea we had here was that we do the episode. I do all the editing. The promo.
Yeah, no. Well,
you were just supposed to have one job every week, which is just pick the topic.
Well, I can pick topics, or some of these topics that become time sensitive, or we can't do them, or whatever.
The topic we're doing right now is not time sensitive.
Well, no, but then I got to pick my own topics. I kind of like that. But most of the time, they're going to be down and dirty if I start picking them, which I'd like to.
I'm totally lost.
However, we want to do your topics. So please send them in. Please write them.
But now people are sending them in, and you're still not picking them.
What are you talking? All right, let's go. So I'm going back to this topic that Matt picked, which I like.
And I'm looking up my answers because I didn't have any time to do it.
So back then, when disco inundated everything, and people were just disgusted and upset, I would say initially I hated disco myself. I was a musician, a gigging musician, played drums and was in a band from the time I was 12, 13 years old. So at that point, when I first got in the band, it was the early 70s. Early 70s, very early. And so again, once disco hit, it was like, oh my God. But here I go. Let me go back to 2 bands. First off, there was this band called The Tramps. And they did a song called Disco, That's Where the Happy People Go. And the extended version at that, I would listen to that, and man, I dug that. I'm not gonna lie, I dug it, man. And they also did Disco Inferno. You guys know some of these other, they had bigger hits than Where Happy People Go. Then there was a band, and Rob knows this band, Tavares. He got it out before me. Tavares. Man, I love Tavares. Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. There was a song that people don't know very well because it wasn't a hit. It was called I'll Be Your Guiding Star. I'll Be Your Guiding Star. You got to throw that up and get some audio in there. I'll Be Your Guiding Star. This was a beautiful...
What, now?
No, not now, but fanable. This was a beautiful love song that I actually sung to different girls and friends of mine, and they just would like sing that song, Rob. And back in the day, I could sing, not just drum. Now, moving forward to today, my guilty pleasure to admit to would be I was never a big country guy. Really, I was just like, oh, country, man. You know, it was like a vampire, you know, a whole lot of country. But my wife got into country music somehow, and she has definitely gotten me listening to Rascal Flatts, and honestly, I think I like most of their stuff. And that's really hard for me to admit, because I'm really not a big country cat. And my daughter took it further, and there's what's the name of that band? Midland, I think they're called, Midland. They did a song called She's Gone, and she took it even further. And so I started, you know, kind of digging some of these country artists and things. And really, it's tough for me to admit any of this. I'll tell you though, there was a lot more disco that I dug. A lot more. I think it was Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons kind of crossed over there and kind of did a lot of disco stuff like Who Loves You, Oh What a Night. And man, I love that stuff even more than some of the other stuff I mentioned. But so yeah, that would have been, you know, I'm guilty, I have to admit this, like you're saying, and I really did enjoy it. I not only enjoyed a lot of this stuff, but not the country music now, but the disco, I not only enjoyed it, but I played it, you know, in the band I was with, definitely did, you know, Oh What a Night, and Who Loves You, and different things, and definitely enjoy this topic because it's hard for me to admit this stuff, but you know, it's funny because I would say a lot of us growing up at that time, the disco hit and was like, oh, we hate disco, but the reality was there was some really great stuff. Really great artists, wrote some really great stuff, performed it. It was really something. So, and let me throw this in here. I really like Lady Gaga's stuff, a lot of it, especially
I feel like if it's her early stuff, it's not super.
Well, some of them hits and shit I really liked. And again,
some of her newer stuff.
My daughter like would turn me on to stuff, but Lady Gaga, even Katy Perry. See, now this is, I'm really stretching to say they're guilty pleasures or I listen and I like it. So there's some strange stuff and that ain't, you know, you wouldn't think would be my cup of tea, but I have to admit it. Yes, I enjoy some of this stuff. Rob's making a list.
Checking it twice. We're gonna
Checking
find
it
out
twice.
who's naughty or nice.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, when I was younger, I used to like Charlotte Church.
Oh, that's right.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't listened to her in about like 15 years, but I thought she was incredible. She was, at the time, she was like a teenage opera virtuoso or something like that, but I think that was pretty weird. Here's one that's definitely embarrassing, I think, to admit, but for some reason I always loved this song, and even now when I listen to it, I can't understand what I actually found, what the musical integrity was, because there really wasn't any. But there was a song, I guess it came out in the 90s by the Cardigans called Love Fool. For some reason I really liked that. I really liked that song.
Stumped me.
And a friend of mine who I won't put on blast, you know, used to like that song too. Actually, the same friend of mine turned me on to somebody who now, on an actual talent and musical level, I really love. Two of her songs were kind of cheesy. You know, they were more of her hits, and they're not the type of songs that like you'd ever see a guy riding around listening to. And that would be Corinne Bailey Rae. She had a song called Put Your Records On. That was actually the song that kind of made her, you know, popular here. And then she has another one called Trouble Sleeping, which actually that song I still love. I'm not even ashamed to admit that I love that song. That's great. But she's actually extraordinarily talented, as a lot of the artists from the UK are. Trying to read my list over there, you're making me nervous.
No, I'm looking at your fucking beer.
You want some?
No, I don't want any of your fucking beer.
Oh, and then of course, you know, like I said, I grew up in the 90s. So, I mean, if you were a guy and you didn't have a crush on Maya, I mean, I'm questioning your sexuality right here on camera. So, there was that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I also liked some of her songs, which I guess is the guilty pleasure that, could be embarrassing to admit. Oh, man, she had a song called My Love Is Like Whoa. Oh, man. You're going to have to look that up later.
Yeah.
You'd be, you wanting to marry Maya after that one.
Yeah.
And Fallen. Now, here's the interesting thing about Fallen. That's the type of song that, like, is a guilty pleasure song that, like,
What, Alicia Keys?
No.
Oh, okay.
Fallen by Maya. Now, here's the thing with that. It's kind of a guilty pleasure in the sense that that song is totally like a woman singing a love song to a guy that she's stalking into or has a crush on, so you'd be like, why do you like that song? I figured out years after falling in love with that song why I love the song. And it's not the song, because the song is kind of girly and like, what's going on here? It's because there was always this familiarity that I was trying to figure out what was, why do I love this song immediately? And that's because the instrumental used for that song is actually an instrumental used from an old hip-hop track called Runnin' by the Far Side, which is one of my absolute favorite hip-hop instrumentals of all time.
There you go.
They changed a couple little things, and they used it for Maya's Fallen. And then, of course, it was literally years later that I figured out, oh, this is the same instrumental. But, of course, there's also, my crush there, Maya, singing over it, so, So, Rosemary already knows. It's safe. She already knows how I feel about Maya. Yeah, and then you had brought up the country thing before. I hate country music, and I don't have any exceptions like I like a whole artist or a whole band. I like one country song.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Just one. And I hate the fact that I like it.
I like him a lot.
It's called Who Wouldn't Want to Be Me by Keith Urban.
I love Keith Urban. I actually
He
like
is talented. I'll give him that. But I'm never going to sit here and say,
talented cat.
oh, I listen to Keith Urban. No, I don't.
Well, I don't either, but he's tremendous.
That particular song...
Who wouldn't want to be me? Good
fantastic song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Great song. But I mean, it's unmistakably country, so I can't even be like, oh, well, it's kinda... No, it's a damn country song.
One of the best walking bass lines I've ever heard in a song.
Yeah, simple, but
Up
very
there,
good.
man. Tremendous.
I mean, he is talented. Now, let's see. If I could think of any, like, embarrassing groups or bands that maybe I liked over time that I didn't want to admit that I liked, who would they be?
Well...
I mean, some of that stuff was embarrassing enough.
Yeah, well... Hey, man, CeeLo Green's a strange cat.
That's not embarrassing or a guilty pleasure. He's cool as shit.
Yeah, he's a strange cat. I like his stuff.
What's that have to do with... But that's not...
Yeah.
Are you forgetting the topic here?
Yeah,
it wasn't strange artists that you like.
No, I know, but...
That's not a guilty pleasure or embarrassing. He's a cool-ass dude. He's weird, but...
I guess he's cool.
What's pissing me off is I know I'm going to think of like 19... great tracks or bands to put in this episode as soon as we're
both
done.
of us, as soon as we're done and walk out of the room. Or we short notice with us.
No, with you.
With me, with me. Short notice with me.
Oh, I guess the only other one I'll throw in, but I think this is going to throw some people for a loop. Maybe not. Well, let me explain why, to me, this is a guilty pleasure at this point. And this is a shame. It's an absolute shame. And I've actually literally talked to a few people about how I felt about this particular band in this situation to make sure that I wasn't a scumbag for continuing to listen. One of my favorite bands through the 2000s was Lost Prophets from the UK. Now, that's not a guilty pleasure for just about anybody who, liked that genre of rock. All the way through, I think 2012 was their last album. It's just, alright, cool, they're a rock band and you like them. But then Ian Watkins got locked up for admitting to some type of
pedophilia or something.
Yeah, like admitting to wanting to rape a child or something, and now he's in jail. So then it somehow just like everything else in modern society, then it became like if you're a fan of Lost Prophets, you were demonized. So everybody stopped listening to them. So I guess I still listen to them from time to time, and it doesn't bother me, which I guess makes them now a guilty pleasure band because to me, the music and the time and the memories it brings me back to and enjoying the band as a whole, I don't see where that's a problem. I don't want to go, hang out with Ian Watkins, and not that you can anyways, in a maximum security prison now. But, unfortunately now they're a guilty pleasure because it's frowned upon to listen to, their music anymore. Which, I mean, they made the music, and what about the rest of the band? They didn't do anything.
That triggers in me Madonna. I loved Madonna back in the day.
What?
I loved Madonna.
Where's the connection?
Because Madonna later, as she was moving on, she got more stupid and more offensive with her dumb shit.
She didn't go to jail for wanting to rape a baby.
But she just said stupid shit, did stupid shit. But I speaking of a guilty pleasure, man, back in the day when she was at her height, I liked her a lot.
Well, that's absolutely a guilty pleasure, but there's no connection between that and what I just said about the lost
But
property.
I feel like she had a lot of stupid things to say and do. So not that extreme though.
She still does.
Yeah, well, she's a dope. And she was really a dope and a no talent then, but there was a lot of her music that I have to say, if it comes on now, I still dig, so, but, that's kind of embarrassing to say for sure. Madonna.
And that last one for me, like I said, is still kind of sad, because I love their music, and now it's like you can't tell anybody that you even liked them, or else you get looked at like an asshole or a criminal. It's like,
well, I think the flip side of that...
What the hell does that have to do with me?
I won't go into the flip side of that.
I didn't do anything.
Because I could think of something that would be the flip side, the absolute opposite of that. You can't win no matter where you go. But so that's that's what I got. Like you were saying, when we get off camera, I will probably think of 5 or 10 more things. But that's what I got on
both will, because like I said, brief overview of how this situation works is I edit an episode, we put up the episode, a week goes by, it's time to film a new one. I tell them 3 days prior that we have to do an episode. Then I remind them on the day of that we have to do an episode.
Mind your mother's ass. I'm fungal.
And then
have to show up.
Right
now.
Before we're going to get on camera, he tells me what the topic is.
Your sister's ass. Come on, let's go.
And it acts like he doesn't have time to think about it.
Wow.
Anyway, this was episode 51 of Shooting the Shit.
50-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, next week's episode.
Matt, you're the man. I like Matt.
Next week's episode is the anniversary.
I gotta call Matt. Gotta talk to him. Wait, this is important.
Next week's episode is the anniversary. It's 1 whole year.
1 fucking year.
Since we've been doing this. Technically, actually, this episode is 1 year because somewhere in there, I don't remember why, but we skipped a week. So technically, this is it. But in terms of the number of episodes, next week is the 52nd episode, which would technically signify a year of shooting the shit, a.k.a. chatting with Pops, and we're gonna, be something different for that for next week. You'll see what's up with that. Yeah, so like he said a bunch of times, trying to deflect what he didn't get done onto you guys. Leave more topics.
Fucking, I swear to God, I'm gonna knock you out in about a minute.
You want a beer?
I'm gonna give you a beer. I'm gonna stick it right up your ass.
The special victims.
You're gonna love that comment. Don't fucking edit that out.
That's
fucking screwball.
I'm not in there for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So leave topics on Patreon under where this is.
Fucking kook.
Leave comments.
Yeah.
Definitely sign up on Patreon. Link at the top of the video description. If you are watching this and you're not a patron, you are seeing this a whole week late.
They're probably wondering why things are a little slower and laid back. Because we're shooting this shit kind of late. We used to do them kind of early. And I'd be all keyed, he'd be all keyed up. We're a little mellow subdued, man. It must be, 11 o'clock at night here right now? Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we start doing them earlier there,
Yeah,
Dad?
you notice now, by the way, someone had commented going back, I ain't pulling on my shirt every 2 seconds. This is joking now. I ain't like fidgeting around half as much. I noticed on another episode we did late, I'm like, I ain't fidgeting, I ain't pulling my shirt. Because I'm relaxed and the night is wound down. I kind of like this vibe. You guys may not though. You like me to be wound up. But I think I like this.
If I had to put up a pie graph of this episode, half of it was the topic and the other half of it was useless bullshit.
No, but they enjoy that.
They enjoy useless
edit
bullshit.
This stuff. If you edit it right, they'll enjoy that.
If I edit it right, says the guy who doesn't spend 19 hours editing an episode of this fucking show.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say that, though, if you leave part in. If you like me going bananas and I'm fidgeting all over, or do you like this mellow guy who's just wound down at the end of the night? I like the mellow guy. There you go. We're winding this shit up. Next week, anniversary. That's going to be good. I can't imagine the shit he's going to pull out of the hat to make me look like a nut job.
I don't know what I'm doing for that episode. I'm going to explain it next week.
Oh, all right. See ya.
Holy crap.